Hello, gamers. This is Blanka Kong with another podcast episode, LogiCast. I'm joined by Mr. Esoteric Skills, Gunner Eos, and Hollow Wolf. I forgot your names for about a millisecond there. I'm sorry about that.
It happens.
Today's topic is an interesting one. Gamer rage, moments of gamer rage. So this is going to be a compilation of personal stories. Some of the people on the panel know these stories. Some of you don't, so this will be a reveal. And I'm gonna kick things off because I've been voted as the most rageful gamer in the group, which I agree with. So let me just take a look at the list of games that I've raged at and just pick a good one. And I'm gonna go with this one. This particular rage moment happened in 2008, and it was for I mean, these were some pretty emotional times. So the game is Soul Calibur 4 for the Xbox 360.
He mentioned it.
Oh shit!
And
I think
Okay.
this was a top one for me because I think this is the most ridiculous that I've ever gotten in terms of gamer rage. I have a lot to choose from, but I think this tops it for me. So I have to kick things off with this one. So Soul Calibur 4, for those who have not played it, it's a fighting game, weapon-based fighting game. I love Soul Calibur in general. Been playing it since the first one on Dreamcast. And Soul Calibur 4, I was very excited to play it. Got it on the Xbox 360, and I played it a ton. I think I was close to getting all the achievements. And then one of the achievements, which I did do it, but it took a piece of my soul, was the Tower of Lost Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically floor 50 to 52.
Mm-hmm.
Where you had to fight, I think, three to four Raphael clones, and they're able to tag in and out. And for those of you who don't know about Soul Calibur and Soul Calibur characters, Raphael is a Frenchman. He's very full of himself. He's very condescending, and he has this one attack that I'll always remember. Even when I'm an old man and I have dementia, I'll hear it from time to time. And it's when he flicks you with the rapier and he goes, "No chance," right? In the fucking game, hours into it, right? I'm getting hot. I'm getting so angry. Man, I'm getting mad talking about it. He launched me, hit me with the "no chance," tagged out to his brother, "no chance," and then tagged out to the other one and hit me again and wrung me out. I got so mad. I took my controller and I fucking threw it as hard as I could at the television. And if this TV was a modern TV, it would have shattered. But because it was one of those big tube TVs from back in the day, it was built like a tank. So it ate the hit, and there was a little mark where I threw the controller, but I threw it with such force. I wanted to break the controller and the television because that was the biggest bullshit I've ever seen in my life up until that time. Soul Calibur 4, the Tower of Lost Souls, specifically that section. I mean, the whole thing is frustrating, but that section took me off. I'm like, there's no reason why there should be Tekken tag mechanics in Soul Calibur, and I'm getting fucking juggled out of the ring. Like, I got super hot, super hot. And at the time I was at home, and I shared the room with my younger brother, and he was like, and my brother is bigger than me, and I'm pretty sure he can kick my ass if he wanted to. He was just like, kind of like, okay, you're crazy. He got a first row seat to see me, just like, my ears must have been bloodshot red from being so angry. So yeah, that's my first entry for Gamer Rage, and there's more where that came from. So on to the next person, whoever wants to take it.
Who's next, guys?
Okay. Well, I'll go because I'm on the extreme opposite end of the spectrum. I don't really get upset when it comes to video games. I tend to do. My adage is I shouldn't let something that's meant for enjoyment piss me off. When I feel like I get to that point, I stop playing. The
What this guy's is like laughing his ass off over here.
Because he has to have an adage to play video games, so this really like broke that.
Yeah, so it's gonna seem really tame, but my only instance that I can think that comes anywhere close to rage, which is not even, it's more of like annoyance, not even rage, but it's the best I got, is on the 3DS, Legend of Zelda, not Wind Waker,
Spirit Tracks.
Phantom Hourglass. Phantom Hourglass. There's a puzzle in that game that got me upset. And for those who know it, for Zelda fans out there and in the group,
Know what you're
it's
talking about.
Yep.
you have to put a piece of paper in the game onto a relief and press
Mhm.
it to solve the puzzle. Now, I didn't know. I didn't have the manual. This is before the internet was really mainstream and YouTube videos that could explain things in a second existed. So I was on my own. I didn't have any friends who played it at the time to like give me a hint. I'm like trying it. I'm pressing buttons. I can't leave the screen. I'm pressing every button. I turned the game off because I think my game froze. I turned it back on, get to the same part of the puzzle, still can't progress. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I'm trying this for like a good hour, hour and a half. So before the rage comes in, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna do something else. I close the system, put it on my bed, go about my business. A couple hours later, I come back. I'm like, all right, we're gonna solve this puzzle. We're gonna figure it out. I open the 3DS or DS at the time, not even 3DS, the DS at the time, and I hear the iconic jingle. Doo 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 doo. I'm like, so I had to close the DS and open it to mimic pressing paper down on a relief. I stopped, closed the DS, threw it on my bed, went to check if the DS was okay, and then left. That is the closest I've ever came to raging and potentially damaging my property. I know it sounds weak sauce, but that's the closest I've ever come. That puzzle fucking annoyed me because that little chime that's supposed to be like, "Yay, I did it," felt like a huge "You're a fucking dumbass. This is what you were supposed to do." So that's my story. That's why I wanted to go next because that's it. That's the extent of it.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Eos, that happened to me with that puzzle too. It just so happened that luckily I had something to do, so I kind of closed it and was like, I'm gonna get back to it later, and I ended up solving the puzzle indirectly. So it was just a matter of things needed to be done around the house or something, and I just left it. But
I thought my game was messed up. I thought my DS was messed up. I'm like, I'm thinking this is before I had a job. This was a gift. This was like, fuck, I gotta convince my mom that this thing is messed up, and I know she's not gonna buy me another copy of the game. I'm like, to find out that it was a puzzle.
Innovation.
Yeah.
yay! Well,
Took me a week. It took me a week. I closed the DS, and then a week later I went back to it. And when I loaded the game up, the issue was still there, but then I closed it and watched a TV show for about a half hour, and I went back to the game and I solved it. But it was essentially a week because I got to that puzzle 7 days before I finally accidentally closed the DS to open it up again. So it took me a week. I hate that.
I always remember that puzzle. I was
Yeah,
like,
I hate that
such
puzzle.
a stupid puzzle.
Dumbass puzzle.
it really sticked. But I guess I'll go next because I think I'm the second mild one. The guys might beg to differ because I really can't recall anything but this particular one. So around the time I was living with Kong, we were roommates, and it was during the Monster Hunter World days, Iceborne, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
I don't recall much of it, but prior to me getting on the game, I think I was having a pretty shitty day, right? So, trying to play some games, kind of like get into a better mood. Why did I choose to pick Monster Hunter? And why did I choose to play with Kong fighting one of the most annoying monsters, which would have to be Kieran, right? So during that time, Kong was not shiny hunting. I'm thinking of Pokemon. He was crown hunting. So he was looking for, if I'm not mistaken, the largest one or the smallest one.
Either Gold Crown, Kieran, large or small. I didn't have either.
Well, let's go for the smallest one because Kieran is fast, and him being small, I'm pretty sure is even more annoying. So I jumped in the hunt. I'm feeling good. Everything was running smoothly, right? So out of nowhere, Kieran was just doing his usual runs, back and forth, back and forth.
Before you give us the climax of the story,
Mhm.
there needs to be a little more context.
Okay.
So the Kieran in this hunt, I'm 99% sure it was a Gold Crown large, based on past Kierans I've killed. So I think you costed me Kieran, but also this was an investigation where it was one feint. There can only be one character death. It wasn't a standard like, oh, you died 3
Against a
times
Karen?
against the Kieran. So
That's
this
right.
was
That's
like
hard.
this is a high stakes hunt
That's right.
because the investigations had a higher chance of getting gold crowns. So that's what we were doing. But continue.
Okay. So yeah, as he stated, I costed him the gold crown, the potential gold crown.
We'll never
We
know.
will never, yeah, we will never know. So I I consider myself a pretty, decent hunter. I knew its movements. I'm pretty good. Um, and I just had one of those days where Karen just caught me with one of his thunder attacks. All right, cool. I want to get back up. He hits me again. Like this is the only time when lightning strikes twice because he really had it in for me. Um, Literally, as I got up, he struck me again. Right. So I'm saying over the monitor, I'm like over the speaker, like it can't happen a third time. It really can't. Right. Next thing you know, he does his special move where all you see is the area just glimmering with lightning, and I'm like, no, 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 no. He catches me, and I yell out, "Fuck!" So Kong has it on. Kong has the audio. We might put it on the video, but you don't actually hear me say the curse word because in the midst of me cursing, I literally flung my controller. I didn't have a wireless headset, so it was attached to the controller. So as soon as I said that, in the midst of me saying the word "bug," my controller was thrown on the floor and it detached the headset. So Kong heard everything because he was in the other room, and I was expecting him to be annoyed because he gets very like passionate about Monster Hunter. Like when you mess up, that don't mess up, especially considering the stakes. He's over there laughing at me. So I'm thinking to myself, this shit is not funny, okay? This is not funny.
This is not okay.
I just threw the controller down. I didn't even turn off the system. I just left it there and just went and took a nap. I was like, forget it. I'm over it. I'm done. And
I didn't see him for the rest of the day.
yeah. I closed the door and that's it. I just went
And I'll give you the director's cut version real quick. When he was like, no, no, no. And again, I'm pretty sure I have this on video, so we'll do a separate video compiling this story with that video so that you can hear it. And when he goes, fuck, right? That's when it kind of, you hear the and then it cuts. But because I'm in the other room, I heard the fuck. And then you hear the crash of the controller. So my version was, no, 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 fuck. Fucking gold. It was so fun. And I was pissed because it was like, I'm pretty sure that was a gold Kieran.
And it was one cart.
But I take responsibility for that hunt because I saw his health low and I didn't life powder. So for me, it's like, yeah, he costed me the hunt, but I should have had better foresight and I should have been a better team player and I should have healed him. But he was basically dead. He was in the spot where he goes to sleep. So I was like, I think Esoteric will be able to heal himself. We should be fine. I was tunnel vision, like I was just like damage, and
we were really close. Like the beginning of the fight towards the end was running smoothly. We barely got hit. It was just running. It was running like a perfect.
Us and one other friend, player that we used to hunt with a lot, and yeah, it was a smooth hunt for the most part. And then you get hit with that wombo combo, and again, I put more responsibility on myself for not hitting him with the life powder because I could have, but I chose not to for whatever reason. So I take the L on that one.
I take responsibility for even
He
like
could have
jumping in.
not get hit as well.
How, Sway? How? He hit me with the lightning. It literally. So let me explain it more descriptively, right? The lightning flashed literally right in front of me as I was running, and it hit me, and then it grounded me, and then he did it again as I was getting up, and as I was getting up again, he locked me. There was nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
Not get hit by the first lightning.
Yeah,
it was running towards. It was in the direction. It was, put it like this, right? He didn't throw it directly at me. He threw it as I was running, and it was right in front of me. Like literally, I was just one step there, and then I was in the animation already, and then it said boom, and that was it.
I mean, all jokes aside, everybody on this podcast right now knows how annoying, and anybody who's played Monster Hunter knows how serious a Kieran fight can be. It can be very tense. You're clenching your asshole the whole fight. Because all it really takes is one mess up. And because of what the blight that Kieran gives, which makes it easier to paralyze a hunter, not to mention the damage output it has, you don't really want to mess up. So yeah, that fight needed to be precise the whole way through. There was no opening for a slip up in that fight.
And here's the funny thing, right? Just to be on the safe side, I even went with my sub weapon, which is greatsword, because I didn't want to be stuck in no animations with the charge blade. I wanted to keep it swing, go. I kept it straight traditional, and he just floored my ass. I was like, wow. I was, damn. It was just.
So I can hit you guys with another one, or you can hit them with one wolf. How do you want to do it?
I can hit him with one. Let's go back to the game that you choose in the very beginning, because me and you played that game kind of together. We played
we did.
Soul Calibur before the Tower of Lost Souls, pretty much competing with each other to see, how far we can get and stuff like that. And I think the floor after. So what Blanka Kong, for you guys watching, what Blanka Kong didn't mention is that these characters, or these made up, because in Soul Calibur you can create characters, so it used the create a character format to create templates of the actual characters in the roster. So the characters that he was fighting that was Raphael based wasn't actually Raphael the character, but it was create a character based on him.
Bones, yeah.
And what Blanka Khan didn't mention earlier was that these characters had special abilities about them that the actual character did not have.
Mm-hmm.
So the floors, each floor you went on, there were stipulations that you had to follow or you were forced to respect. So the floor after Raphael, I think it was one or two floors, either before or after, was the one that's based on the most popular character for Soul Calibur, which I believe is Cassandra. And she had the ability where her evasiveness went up. So it was three females. I think it was Cassandra, Sophia, and another female that you had to fight, and their evasiveness went up. So with that said, I picked my main character as a character that is very good at ringing people out. So I did take an easy way, most of my Tower of Lost Soul progression was just simply ringing out the characters. Because at that point, I didn't see a sense in fighting a character with extremely high evasion or extremely high attack or defense. I wasn't wasting my time on that. So I got to the floor, and it was Cassandra I had to fight. So while she is magically evading or going through all of my attacks, I finally catch her in a throw that would have run her out. And this is after maybe 6 or 7 failed attempts of getting a game over and having to do the fight again, trying to hit that one move. And the game doesn't tell you anything. But when I finally caught her, her body flew in the air. A white invisible wall or a white wall appeared and slid her back into the arena after she was visibly over the ring out part of it. And she recovered and beat me. And after 40 minutes of trying this fight over and over again, I got to the point where I got so fed up that I kicked the faceplate off of the Xbox 360. So with the faceplate now damaged, after transitioning to the PS4 and getting rid of the Xbox 360, I had to glue the faceplate onto the console with crazy glue and hope that the GameStop representative didn't care to check if the faceplate was broken or not on the console. And I was able to do that, and that's how I got rid of the 360. But yeah, I literally kicked the console, and when I kicked the console, it flew off of the table that it was on, hit the ground, and the faceplate broke. That was one of my major gaming rage moments. Soul Calibur is a very frustrating game if you let it get to you.
Indeed it is.
So for some reason, you want to piss yourself off. Play Soul Calibur 4 and play the mini game Tower of Lost Souls. You will. It is a true test of patience. That shit is fucking ridiculous, and it blatantly just cheats you. It just goes, "You're playing by these set of rules. Cool. We're gonna break them, and we're gonna shove it in your face, and we're gonna ask you to win.
Somehow.
Figure it out, dumbass."
Can you win against all odds?
And listen, I did it.
Yeah, he
So,
did.
I
I
did it,
didn't. I stopped.
and I was like, "That's it." And I took, once I beat it, I remember taking a 3-month break from games. I was like, I didn't turn on the Xbox 360 for months. Well, for 3 months. And when I did turn it on after that 3-month break, I had a red ring of death, and I was like, how the fuck did that happen? How can you overheat if you're not even on? So, insult to injury.
Oh, Xbox.
So, that's not a gamer rage moment. That's just karma just kicking me in the nuts. But anyway, my next gamer rage moment is on the original Xbox. And this is during high school time. So me and Wolf, we went to high school together. And this was before the time of smartphones and Facebook and Messenger and TikTok and all this crap that we have now. Back in the day, if we wanted to interact with each other, we either had to meet up or use the phone to call one another. The phone didn't have 2000 gimmicks or apps or whatever. It was just the fucking dial pad, and that was it. You called people and you spoke to them like normal people. So anyway, I was playing a game called Time Splitters Future Perfect. And
I
Wolf
remember.
is laughing because he remembers this story. So I'm kind of a completionist. Like, it depends on the game. I enjoy challenges as far as like, beat 50 enemies in 2 minutes or like little things like that. give me a reason to play the game a little more than like just the story. So in Time Splitters, they had like a challenge mode where it's just like a series of mini games, and you would play against other people. Well, no, you wouldn't play. You would play against the computer in these like stipulation matches, and so you had to get platinum time because you were timed on everything in order to unlock characters and guns. And on my Xbox file, I may still have the file somewhere. I have to find my Xbox memory card, but I unlocked everything. I did all the missions. I unlocked all 50 characters. I have everything you can get in Time Splitters Future Perfect, as far as I know. So, in order to do that, one of the last missions was a death match, but it was a death match where you had to collect coins, and to get coins, you have to kill, the computers.
NPC.
So when somebody dies in the map, they drop the coin. The coin is accessible to anybody who can grab it. It's like kill confirmed in Call of Duty, right? Before kill confirmed was a thing in Call of Duty. So I'm doing this match and they force you. It's not like, oh, you could pick your guns, and no, they give you your character and your guns. You have no control over that part of the challenge. So they give me this big doofy character with a shit gun, and they fill the map. All the enemies are these monkeys. And the monkeys, if you've ever played 007 GoldenEye on the N64, the monkeys were like Oddjob. They're just a smaller character. They're super fast and they're hard to hit. And I have to do a 7-on-1 match. I think it was 7 monkeys just versus me to get the most coins. And they're on a team and I'm on my own team. So it's 1-on-7. It's a handicap match in the purest form. So I'm trying to beat this fucking thing. I'm trying to get gold. So I have to not only beat it and win, but I have to do it under a certain time. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. And I keep killing these monkeys, right? I take them out, I go for the coin, and another little bastard just runs and grabs my kill. And I'm like, you motherfucker. So I start chasing him and I kill that motherfucker. And it rinse and repeat. Another motherfucker would just grab the coin. And I remember getting so angry. I went through 3 Xbox controllers
Holy shit.
playing that game. I literally broke them. I would have broken the system if the original Xbox controllers didn't have that detachable gimmick on them.
Yeah.
So back in the day, we had wired controllers. Wireless was like a fucking a privilege, right?
Mhm.
So all the controllers were wired, and Xbox had this idea to where it's like a detachable cable basically. And so if that didn't exist, I would have broken my Xbox because I definitely yanked the controller in frustration and I definitely threw it. Like I've gone through 3 controllers. And I remember getting so angry that I called Wolf to bitch about this fucking level and this feature in the game. And I think back to that, I go, wow, what a different time. Like, I mean, GameFAQs existed and there was a message boards, but I didn't really have access to that. So I had no outlet to like talk about the stuff. And so I needed to tell somebody how fucking pissed off at these goddamn monkeys I was. And hearing about this conversation, not knowing what I'm talking about, makes me sound crazy. It's like, this guy's killing monkeys for coins. What the fuck is he talking about? And he's breaking controllers. And I remember my brother looking at me like, just stop playing. I'm like, no, I need to beat it. I need to unlock everything. I'm not proud of that. I look back and I'm like, I should have just stopped. Like,
No, but on
He
my
said he's not proud of it.
on my end of it, it made him so angry that when he finally got it, he was still angry.
yeah,
Because
I
he
was still pissed because I won, but it's like, what have you lost? You know, like think of all the collateral damage you've done to yourself to get this digital character that means nothing now.
he called me just screaming at the Xbox. I finally beat this fucking mode. Fuck you, monkeys. Fuck you, coins. Fuck you, time. It's just like he was just F-bombing
Yeah.
left to right, left to right. I'm like, yo, but he won. Why is he angry? Like,
Was
that's what I'm saying to myself. Like, but you won. Why are you angry? But he was still angry at the game, even after finally accomplishing it.
The fucking monkeys, man.
Those little motherfuckers, man.
what
It
did
was
you do to beat them though? Like,
I just got better at the game. I just learned the routes.
Not good.
I got good before getting good was a meme. Like I learned that like I can close my eyes and see the level and know exactly where the corridor is. That's how much I played it. And I learned kind of where the monkeys would path. So I'm like, okay, there's gonna be 3 motherfuckers in this room. Don't go in that room, no matter what. Right. And I'll let coins go. Like I don't chase the coins because that's how they'll trap me. They'll make me they'll fucking bait me and kite me into a room and there's 3 of them, and then they're like, huh, you fucked up, kid. And boom, they kill me and take all my coins. So you could have the lead the whole time. The moment you die, you drop everything. So it's like high stakes. Like you got to survive and you got to make good decisions. It's a crazy mini game. Like maybe I'll stream it.
You want to go through that again?
Well, it won't.
he wants
I
to
won't
break
get
his
it.
stream. He wants to, you know.
Fling the computer tower out the window.
I don't know. I'll
Nah,
think about it. I'll think
nah.
about it.
I
I'll
say
think
stay
about it.
away from that. That mode is one of those modes you just don't do anymore. Like you got it, you move on.
Yeah, it's toxic, man.
It's like
Too toxic.
it's way too toxic. That mode is horrible.
I'll
Horrible.
think about it. I'll think about it. But
You're a glutton for punishment.
that's my second story. So do you guys have any other gaming rage moments that you want to share with the panel?
Well, you mentioned the word stream, and that kind of triggered me, because a while back I was playing Ghouls and Ghosts, and I thought I was the shit.
Yeah.
And I played it on the hardest difficulty because I'm like, I can do it. I'm a gamer. I'm hardcore. That shit humbled the hell out of me. Okay, it really did. It really did. And it was just the game overall on that difficulty is super cheap. I'm kind of trying to get myself mentally to prepare to play it again or whatever. I don't know if I'll stream it, but whatever. So, mind you, this is all happening on the first stage. Like I have yet to. My biggest feat on this difficulty was basically getting to the checkpoint, and I struggled for like 3-4 hours getting to this goddamn checkpoint. So it started off, I would run, I get used to the controls, regular controls, jump, shoot, dodge, pretty much. And then you just have enemies gradually being thrown at you in the beginning. Then they just ramp it up a few seconds into the game. They just start just flinging shit everywhere, and it's like you gotta dodge, you gotta shoot. Basically, Arthur can only throw in like perpendicular angles, so he can only go right, up, down, left, like, and you have to turn backwards in order to do it. Man, I was just getting my ass handed to me. It was just so much shit being thrown at me. I would get my upgrades to my suit, and then within a blink of a second, they take that shit away. I would get some points, and then something out of nowhere would just like come and attack me. I would open up chests, and they'll have like magicians turning me into like freaking frogs and shit. It was just a cluster of bad luck. It was just, oh my god, it was just hell on earth. I looked back and I watched the gameplay on Twitch. I wish I saved it, but you can see the joy just being stripped away from my face. I was so happy to play the game, and I was just so angry. It was to the point where Kong, I think he texted me personally. It was like, "Listen, you need to get off the stream. Like, you're looking really upset."
I was watching him. He looked like a truly defeated man.
I was. I really was.
He was like, get someone on the phone now, contact the significant others, and see if this man is okay. Because he just looks so depressed. I'm like, it's like seeing, like, just stop. Just stop. Just turn it off, man. Go to bed.
That's the thing about it, is that Gunner will. I've seen him get frustrated at games before, and he will never express it. He'll either laugh it off, or he'll just put it down, and he'll keep that poker face. Like I can't even tell if he's upset at the game or
Oh,
if he just gave
I
up.
got another lukewarm story after, but you go ahead.
The only thing I ever seen Gunna really do is like, well, guys, I'm logging off. that's the extent, the magnitude of.
It is so like
Of his
casual,
anger.
right? Like if he was a
Yeah.
boxing coach, and he's seeing his boxer get fucked up in the ring, he would just like casually walk in the ring and just like, "Hey ref, this is for you. This is a white towel. I'm done. That's it. My career's over." Like that's how casual it is. It's it's pretty
Funny
funny.
you bring that up because all right, well, I'll hit you with another lukewarm one. In the vein of Monster Hunter, this is
I knew this one
Ice-
was coming.
yeah, this is Iceborne. Literally at pretty much the end of the game's content, because for those who don't know, after the base game came out, every couple months they would release new monsters. The last monster they released before Iceborne was officially done with content was the legendary Fatalis. Now,
Mm.
this shit was nuts. Like it's like it required end game gear, end game weapons, end game mentality. In my opinion, required 3 other hunters that you could directly speak to. Because God bless you if you did that shit with randoms. I don't know how you did it, but you deserve a medal.
You're better off doing it alone.
You honestly are. You are, in my opinion. And this fight wasn't the traditional just beat monster to monster HP hit 0. I mean, this thing was a raid boss.
Yes.
Anybody who's played WoW, Final Fantasy, Guild Wars, whatever, this shit was a raid boss. It had phases, it had stages, it had a more pronounced enrage mode than your typical rage mode in any given monster. Like this shit was nuts. So by this time, Kong, Wolf, Esoteric, a friend of ours that played, they pretty much at least had 1 kill on it. At this point, I haven't killed it yet. I tried, I failed. We try a couple nights, we fail. I call it a night. We get to 1 night, and I think this is after I killed it already. So I already had 1 kill. I didn't have enough to make any of the armor or weapons. I had a kill. So I'm like, all right, now that I got a kill, I feel more confident. Let's try and get this armor because it was really good. It's the best of the best armor. Literally the last thing. We go for a night.
Mm-hmm.
We're dying. We're dying. We're dying. I'm dying. I'm a gunner. I felt I was thrown back into 2000, and I'm like 1-shot territory. It flicks its tail. I'm dead. It looks at me funny. I'm dead. I'm like, there's nothing I can do to this thing. So we're fighting. It kills me. I cart. We fail. All I do is like, I don't say anything. I just leave the room. Turn off. I'm still in Discord with the guys. Turn off my PlayStation 4. Go on my computer. Click Metal Gear fucking Revengeance, Metal Gear Rising, and I play that, and that's it. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. And they're like, so you're not gonna hunt them anymore? Like, no, I'm done. I cleared it. It's over. I'm done. And I spent the rest of the night playing Metal Gear while they hunted until we went to bed. That was it. And that was the last night I booted up the game. To this day, that was the last night I booted up the game.
Ref, this white
Shit.
towel belongs to you.
Yeah, I didn't break anything. I didn't launch my PlayStation 4. I didn't break the monitor. I literally turned it off, took the game out, didn't even break the disc. Took the game out, casually put it back in the case. It's still there to this day. And I went to play something else. So, yeah, that like I said, my rage takes are very lukewarm in comparison, but that's
You
as
say
far as
that.
I go.
You say that, but the day that you get pushed right over that edge, God bless whatever or whoever's in that room with you, because you're going to jail.
But I have
You're going to jail.
probably. I
I'm
guess
not gonna lie, I want to experience it. I really want to see
You're
that
going
day.
to jail.
I want to be a fly on the wall and just see like
Yeah, I'll be the fly on the wall. I don't want to be in the room.
it is
And like, shit, this guy gonna shank me. Like,
is-
it's okay. I'm a friend.
it is probably going to be one of those like super miscellaneous things like, oh my god, they took the same knife and put it in the butter with the jelly. Like, he's just gonna snap.
Or somebody double dips with like chips and salsa, or whatever. He's like, he double dipped. It's like, it's okay, man. He double dipped.
Maybe, yeah, because I stop. Maybe it's bad. Maybe the cathartic effect would be to throw a controller, but I stop when I get to that point.
I mean,
No.
that's responsible.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
the way you should do it.
That's you have the best response out of all of us. I think
Yeah.
me and Blanka Kong has continuously expressed it the wrong way as we
Yeah.
got until we, I think we're at a point where we'd rather just turn the game off and curse about it. Maybe I haven't
Well-
played a game most recently. I haven't played a game to test me because I've now grown to know myself. So the moment I start seeing the bullshit, I'd stop. But yeah, that I think you are by far the most responsible when it comes to gamer rage out of the four of us, really.
I agree.
I've heard some of it from you guys. I've seen some of it from other friends. Funny enough, with SoCal before, we have a mutual friend that I was right next to him. I guess I'll tell the story because it's a gamer rage that I was
Sure.
the
Yeah. I think I know
third-party
which one
witness.
this is, but
Yeah, like he's doing something. I don't know if it's the same mission as you guys. It's in that godforsaken tower. I'm sitting there. He's right next to me, so I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at the television, and I'm just watching him. I'm not saying anything because I don't want to be like, "Ooh, damn, that was close," because that's gonna he gonna hit me. And this guy's like family, so I'm like, just watch.
that shit stings, man. When somebody's sitting there watching a
Yeah, no,
Ooh.
shut the fuck up.
I'm just watching, and then all of a sudden, out of my peripheral, I see a controller just fly and smack into like a wall, and he just leaves. And it's like I saw someone get shot, and I don't know what to do. I sat there. I'm like, should I move, or should I just stay here for a bit?
And you know it's. I'm sorry to cut you off, Eos, because what makes it even funnier, because I can imagine it in my head, if this is the person you're talking about, this person has a stone cold face throughout everything. Like he just sits there.
He has
He's
a
like,
good poker face for the most part.
all he would do is
Exactly.
he would sit there with a straight face. The most he would do when he's upset, he'll fling stuff around, but he'll go like this and just keep it moving. Like that's what he would do, and it's gold. It's like it's just.
Dude, I don't think I ever saw him get that upset on a video game again. But I will never forget. My world was just TV and then controller right by me, like someone shot at me and I felt the bullet. It was just like controller, wall, leave. I'm like, I just witnessed a homicide. What do I do now?
That escalated quickly.
Well,
Literally, that is a perfect spot to put that meme. So my rage is nothing compared to that. But that's just a story from, third-party witness to some legit rage.
I completely understand that, Eos, because I was a victim to witnessing gamer rage from a third person perspective. So we're all in class, and Wolf was I think he was playing a fighting game, and we all have this mutual friend that is.
It was
exactly
a
what that
fighter,
story is.
and he picked Ken and couldn't beat my Ryu.
He was
Yo.
like, now this guy, just to give you a description, like this guy is freaking huge. He's like 6'4" or something, if not taller. He's stocky. He's huge and
Taller than that. I think he's like 6'6", maybe.
probably.
B.I.G.
But the thing is about him, he's a gentle giant to a fault, like to a point. Like
Yeah, he's a sweetheart guy.
when it comes to competitions, when it comes to criticism, don't do it. Like you gotta humble your skills a little bit when you face him. So anyway,
That's Wolf.
so Wolf didn't know that. Wolf likes
No,
to
he
No,
knew.
I
Wolf.
knew that. I didn't care.
Wolf likes to demolish people no matter what. Like he's a competitor. He's gonna stay up a competitor. Whatever. So I'm sitting here watching, the fight. I'm just chilling. At that time we probably had drawing homework or whatever. So in between, you know, writing strokes on paper or whatever I was doing, I was
This
looking
was
at the fight.
Street Fighter 4, by the way.
Yeah, it
Right.
So
was
this
it was
was
Street
like
Fighter 4.
2009, 2010, somewhere
Yeah.
in there.
So, I'm just chilling, whatever. And then I'm watching the last part of the fight, and I'm just seeing our friend getting demolished by Wolf, and I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna end bad because
These ain't close games, by the way. This
no,
is
no,
like
no, this is like complete destruction, But what Wolf wasn't privy to is as he was kicking, our friend's ass, he was turning red. Like his whole face was just like it went from like you could just see the pigmentation just turning into like a freaking volcano. He was about to erupt to the point where Dev took that last bit of health. I kid you not. All I saw was a controller just get thrown.
Yeah, he threw the controller at me
It was
at full force.
Dodge
He
this one,
threw the
bitch.
controller.
it was
He
hilarious.
threw the controller at me. At me.
He was like,
He wanted to hit me.
he was like, "You want to use supers? Here's mine." It was a perfect because Wolf didn't hit him back, but God damn,
it was the
But-
same scenario. It was just like a murder took place, and we're all sitting there like, who's gonna move first?
what would we have done? Because it was a Street Fighter game. If we were to intervene, it would have been a Monster Hunter game. Okay, we would have had to hunt this Devil Joe. This dude was no joke. Okay,
People
He
would have
was no
started
joke.
dropping.
Okay, we would have
Honestly,
I
gotten
didn't know what
carded.
to do.
We would have
I
gotten
didn't know what to
carded.
do. I took that L.
Yeah.
I took that L. I didn't know what to do. I was like, what am I gonna do in this particular scenario? So he threw the control at me, and I took it because it was like, I'm not about. I don't think it's worth it at this point.
It definitely wasn't. It really wasn't.
I have never played a Street Fighter with him ever again after that.
Yeah, it was to the point where there was one of our other friends in the room. He kind of basically forecasted. He dipped. He left. It was like, oh god, this dude
It wasn't live. I wasn't here for it, but I remember the stories.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
Yeah,
Oh my
he-
goodness.
He threw the controller. He threw the controller and hit me. It hit me in my abdomen.
Thinking about it now, it is severe. Like you shouldn't be inflicting damage in real life to
It's
your
one thing if you hit
opponents.
the wall or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, if he threw it at the wall, fine. But the fact that he threw it at me was just like, yo, like I think I'm gonna die today. Over one more Hadoken that I should have never thrown. So that was a scenario.
Yeah, and this was
That
back
I-
when we were prominent in Street Fighter 4. Like we had our like combos together. We knew our frames, and like we was really putting in that work. And then people was talking shit, and they wanted to challenge us, and he was one of those people. And
Wolf's the type of player that he's just gonna play you as if he played anyone. Like,
yeah,
I've
pick
had
up full punches.
I
Yeah.
played Street Fighter for a week. Okay, I'm gonna play you as you're the guy who's been playing it for 40 weeks. Like there is no gloves, kid or otherwise. They just don't exist.
and I can respect that because you're
Can
putting your
speak
full
from-
potential.
Personal experience too, because this isn't a gamer rage moment, but like this is just this is more context to the story. Back when this was like 10 years ago now, maybe 2011, 2012, when Dead or Alive 5 came out, and they had the Dead or Alive Core Fighters, which was like you get the game for free, you get like 2 characters for free, and then like
Mhm.
you can buy your other characters.
Yeah.
Me and Wolf were playing that game a lot when it came out, and we were enjoying it. And I like the game. I think it's a great game. And there was one night we were playing, we were chatting, and he was whipping my ass. I mean, one match after another. And like Wolf is somebody who doesn't discriminate when it comes to like competitors. Like he'll play you whether you're a novice or an
Yeah,
expert,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. And so in Dead or Alive, in that lobby, they show you your win-loss for the lobby. And so I'm like 50, like 0-57 or something. Like it was ridiculous. And I remember his brother had came in the room and he was like, God damn, like give the man a chance. And I remember thinking, like, don't you fucking dare pull punches, motherfucker. Like
Yeah, don't.
you fight,
don't pull punches.
I will eat these 100 losses, no problem. As if I'm getting better or if I'm whatever. Like I don't shy away from losses personally, but yeah.
Yeah, come to think about it now, I think as a competitor, I know we kind of going off topic, but I should have been a little more like because I don't think I held any punches, but I was that guy like, oh, you did a great job, you know, you did,
Yeah, definitely fucking sugarcoat shit.
yeah, you know, all the while, you know, they getting peed on and stuff, but and for those of you that don't know, that means perfect, not R. Kelly, you know, just letting you guys know. But
Yeah, way off topic.
yeah,
Let's talk
Yeah.
about urinating on people.
But I think it's my competitive nature that gets me to being as good as I am. I don't feel like if I'm gonna invest, you know, my time into this, I'm not going to pull my punches against you just because you're not just as invested into it as I am.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
That's just my approach to it. If you are passionate about it as me, then the losses that you do gain against me or the losses that I gain against you would ultimately make us better players. That's my point of view. I don't really care if you're like, again, me and Blanka Kong, we grew up, when we were growing up, we played Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot. And I don't care if you were 7. I don't care if you were 14. I don't care if you were
Yo.
21.
He would
If you played,
OTK you at the first opportunity.
if you played
Shit.
against me, you
He
are
don't
going to
care.
get me at my full and my best.
Mhm.
Because you have to understand that this is a competitive scene, and I am not to pull punches against you. Get good. But a rage game moment that I had again was being a competitor, and Blanka Kong and I were in high school at the time it was Pokemon Emerald, which is probably my favorite one of my favorite Pokemon games, period. And that's because it had this
Best one.
form called it had this end game content called the Battle Frontier. So the Battle Frontier was like 7 additional badges you can gain in the game without actually, but it wasn't like a league that you had to participate. It was just end game content for you to do to push your skills even further. So one of the Battle Frontiers stipulation was you had no control over your Pokemon. You had to trust the nature of your Pokemon would determine the move that it chose to select, or if it chose to be lazy. So there would be turns where it would say, your Charizard dozed off in the middle of the fight, and it would fall asleep. So the sleep status would appear, and it would go to sleep for the 3 turns that it's supposed to sleep for. So I was fighting this Frontier, and it's not like it's a straight fight where I go to the main boss, quote unquote, and get my gold medal or badge when I'm done. No, it's 2 tiers. So the first tier is a silver badge, and the second tier is a gold badge. And you had to work your way up to that boss trainer by fighting other trainers, usually 20, I think it was like 21 fights or sometimes 14 fights. And it's all AI based in that part of the Battle Frontier. Straight AI. All I do is select the text box so that the game can keep going. So I had my slacking, which point is I had my Pokemon, and I had the perfect moves for him to fight that Frontier. I had type advantage. I had power. I had everything was just perfect. And because it's AI based, the game didn't want me to select an attack. So instead, it just kept saying my Pokemon was lazy and did not want to fight. So for about 5 consecutive turns, including his Pokemon ability where he can only move every other turn, So he would go, the game would say, based on his nature, he felt lazy. He did not attack. Then on my next go, due to his Pokemon ability, he cannot move. Then my next go, he felt lazy. He did not attack. Following that, Pokemon ability kicks in. He cannot move. And that continued until he died or fainted. And we were in our art room. I was on my Game Boy Advance, and all I could do was just scream into the game as if my scream was going to change the outcome. But according to Blanka Kong, they were veins that was appearing in my forehead out of the stress that game gave me from just me trying to deal with the AI selecting moves or having the Pokemon do what I needed it to do for me to win. And I no longer have that GBA because I forced in the A button out of anger, and I ended up losing that GBA. So I had to buy another one. Not buy another one. I had to get someone to get me another one at that time. But yeah, Pokemon Emerald Battle Frontier. It's a great challenge, but it'll mind fuck you because you have no control over your guy.
Blatantly cheat you.
Yeah. So while it's one of the best Pokemon games I've ever played, I will never go back to it. Never.
It's because I've played Ruby and Sapphire. Well, Ruby, you played Sapphire, and I wanted to get Emerald because of the additions. But watching you get that angry, which I haven't seen at that point, I was like, oh my god, like I don't think I want to do that to myself.
Maybe not.
I don't remember that day. I mean, I remember this is like glimpses of like that, but I don't remember what I was doing. I might have been playing like cards with somebody else, or I don't know, drawing something.
I know you was definitely next to me at that point. And of course, as our little group is, we take delight in each other's anguish.
Yeah,
and you found it funny.
I mean, yeah.
But we do.
We wouldn't be
do.
good friends if that was the case.
True.
Just to give Gunner also beat Ghost of Tsushima. This is a spoiler for Ghost of Tsushima, so maybe skip ahead 10 seconds. So when you're fighting Lord Shimura and you beat him and he goes that weird scream, that's kind of how he screamed at the game, which is funny.
I was so frustrated because it's like I have no control over this and I have to do this fight in order for me to get all my badges or my medals, as I think was what they called it. And it didn't make sense to me. Just like why Ninja Gaiden got me to retire in the first, half hour? Because it doesn't make sense to me that the enemies is immune to fire and I'm not. What about the enemies is different from my character? I just couldn't. I couldn't. I will never play that game. Fuck that game.
That game was amazing to me, but
fuck that game.
I
Fuck
get
love
that
Ninja
game.
Gaiden.
I
But-
want to play it on
Game is
stream
stupid.
though. Like I really want to play it on stream again.
You should. I watched the hell out of that. Okay, I got a few more. Trying to see which the best one. So I'm gonna go with this one because this one's recent and it's what Gunnar would call a lukewarm response. And Wolf was a part of this moment. And the game is Outriders on the PS4. So for those who don't know, Outriders is a looter shooter sci-fi adventure game. And me and Wolf were playing it. We were playing it with another friend, the same friend who threw the controller at the wall playing Soul Calibur that Gunnar mentioned before. That friend, he was playing it briefly with us, but it ended up just being me and Wolf playing the game. So at one point, the game is wonky as hell. Let me just say that. It's very glitchy. It's wonky. Some of the powers don't work. The evasive roll that you get is really crappy. There's no invincibility frames. Sometimes it doesn't even come out. Like the game is not polished. Polish is not a adjective I would use to describe the game's quality. So we get to a point in the game where we're fighting these like aliens, these tall, lanky, disgusting flesh aliens with like these giant claws for hands. And when you fight them, they're very aggressive. They're just like all over you. They leap like 50 feet to you. They're like when they get close to you, they just start fucking slashing at you. Um they remind me of Wolverine, right? Like there's just berserker barrage. Like that's what it feels like. Um and so we're playing that and we set the world tier higher than our own level to, get
Get
better
better
equipment
loot.
or whatever. So we were playing the game on hard mode, I guess, at that point in the game. And it was so frustrating to me that I couldn't do anything. Like sometimes my character would just get stuck. Like I'm trying to roll and he's just standing there like a doofus. And these things are just fucking beating the crap out of me and I can't do anything about it, right? Um, and I remember getting frustrated to the point where in the middle of the game session, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I exit out the game and I was contemplating of pulling because I have the physical copy of taking the disc out and breaking it because I was like, I don't care. Like I don't need this game. Fuck this game. It's not even a good game. Um, I'm done. And I remember Wolf like awkwardly being on the other end, like, so we're not gonna play the game. And I remember being so fucking annoyed and pissed, but because I'm not like 15 or anymore, like I didn't respond. Like I felt myself getting to that boiling point of wanting to throw my controller, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let this happen. Like I'm done. So we chatted for like 30 minutes, complaining about the game. And we ended up playing it again and just finding like alternatives to like the shitty design. Like there's a skill that you can add to your armor that makes you dash and it gives you invincibility frames that Wolf had discovered and told me about. He's like, hey, look, there's a way to fix the roll. We can play now. And it's just like fine, I guess. And so I wasted a skill slot just to make the base game more playable, which is crazy to me, right? So that's a gamer rage moment that happened recently, like happened a few months ago. Um, to where I controlled myself. I didn't let myself get to that dark end of the spectrum where I'm breaking shit, and bashing my head against the wall. So yeah.
Yeah, that game had a lot of frustrating moments to it, and that was one night where I thought Kong was just gonna just give up and that's it. I just have to stop playing the game, and that would have been it. But luckily we did. I don't feel like as a consumer or a player, I should have come up with an alternative for my friend to play with me. That's something that's a huge flaw on the developers end, and I really do hope someone from that team is listening. Yeah, you guys created a pretty shitty game and you need to fix it. Um, it's a very bad game in terms of
Just
game
general
mechanic wise.
quality. Yeah.
Yeah, the quality. Like the game had so much potential to it too because it possesses a lot of nice things about it that I liked and wanted to keep going, but it's not polished enough or finished enough for it to be playable. At least that's how I'm gonna say it. It's how I feel, which is current gamer rage moments that I'm going through right now, and it's when we play Pokemon Unite. Oh my gosh, I never knew that a MOBA can bring out the worst in a person's mindset. I trained myself as I got older to say, okay, well, this game is not working for me. I'm just going to turn it off and that's it. And you guys know me for that now. Like, you guys know me to be the one that's like, oh shit, this just pissed off Dev. He's not going to play again. So it's like, like,
Yeah.
you guys know me for that. So the moment it pisses me off, I'm done. But with Pokemon Unite, it's like, it's gotten to the point where I completely abandoned rank mode in order for me to not sail or throw my Switch across the room. Because it's just the amount of frustration that game bring, and it's not even really you in me in my personal perspective. In my personal perspective, I'm doing the best I can to play my characters the way they're supposed to be played, or my role the way they're supposed to be played. So when I see other players that I have no control over, it's on a Nintendo system, so I can't even send them a message to relieve my frustration out on them, to let them know how I feel about them personally, to the point where even like apparently we're limited on how many people we can
I discovered this.
Kong discovered that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when I would have a bad match, I would go on a blocking spree. I'm like, I'm never playing with you again. I don't want you talking to me. Block report, block report, block report.
yeah, like you
It's to the point where the game was like, you've blocked enough. Be more friendly. And I'm like,
Wow.
I was like, oh shit, there's a limit.
like,
so,
the fuck?
yeah.
Like, you really just told
There's
me
a
that
block cap.
to be friendly? You just told me like the game I'm trying to report a bad player, and the game said no, you be friendly.
You're
It's
the
like
problem.
really? Like, can you imagine? Like your older brother, or your older sibling, or your little sibling is annoying the shit out of you, and instead of just lashing out on them, you go to your parent and you're like, hey, little brother, big brother, little sister, big sister is bothering me, and your parent turns and says, no, you're the problem. You should be friendly to your sibling. Like,
Stop being so worthy.
yeah, like, are you serious right now? Is this what you just presented to me?
Yep.
Is this like, so Pokemon Unite, I can play 1 or 2 games and then I'm done. Like, I'm done because I like my Switch and there are other games I like to play. So I've lost PSPs from playing Monster Hunter. I've lost controllers from playing certain fighting games. Or Ninja Gaiden is a game I will never, ever, ever, ever boot up ever again. Until they fix that whole burning house situation that I have to play. I don't really.
I'll hold your breath.
I don't care how many people's beaten Ninja Gaiden. I don't care.
Well,
That particular part to me is bullshit. It's bullshit. I'm sorry.
well, you're playing the special I forgot what edition is. I think it's called Sigma.
Ninja
You're
Gaiden
playing
Black.
not Black.
Wasn't he
He's
playing
playing
Black?
Sigma. Playing
Sigma.
Oh, okay.
And wasn't
Okay.
that the easier version?
No, it's basically think of it as being these games nowadays where it's like, oh, it's loaded with all the DLC you could have had. It's like
Game of the Year edition.
Game of the Year edition. If you played the base one, that scene is not even in there. There's no burning building, none of that. So you're talking about like
It doesn't
the
matter.
dojo.
He would have gotten to a point where he would have got pissed anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
something would have
something would have
caused him
gotten
to
to
not
him. Yeah.
right to
The,
not
the
play anymore.
fucking dumbass brown ninjas throwing exploding bombs at you off screen. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that would have got him pissed because it pissed me off.
Yeah. But I think okay, so in regards to my gamer rage, because now everything is coming back to me, I think most of it doesn't stem from the game itself. And Wolf can attest to this. With that being said, I'm really happy that like I'm in my own space, because trying to play difficult games with family members in the house, it's very frustrating. Like, especially like I'll give you an example. I would play a game and my mom, she's a big prankster. So she's one of those people that I'm at a very pivotal moment in the game and I'm like, I'm finally gonna beat it. She'll unplug the controller. Or she would just cut it off. Like, she's a huge prankster and I can't do anything about it because you're under my roof. This, that, and the third. And she thinks it's real funny because my family loves to see when I'm angry. Like, honestly speaking, when I'm around you guys, what you mostly see is pure zen. But come where I used to live with my family in the vicinity. Yeah, my whole mood is a completely different thing. But yeah, that's the type of people they are. Or you'll have one like my brother, my younger brother, who would playing another pivotal moment. He'll sit right next to me, ask me the dumbest questions, and I'm like giving him like one word answers to kind of move. But now he becomes even more inquisitive, and it's like, bruh, this is serious right now. Leave me alone. You know, um, it's just really. I think yeah, most of my aggression will come from like the people around me, my family. I don't know if you guys ever experienced any of that, but
I personally haven't. No.
lucky y'all. I'm
No.
happy I don't have to deal with that
I'm just
anymore.
picturing in my head you're playing like like you're doing, I don't know, the final boss in a Dark Souls game or something, and like you've been at this for hours, and your brother sits next to you and be like, "Hey man, sometimes dogs are brown. How many brown dogs have you seen?"
No, but you actually witnessed it. Kong, like you heard it on over the air. I'm playing Sekiro, and I'm in a very pivotal moment. I'm fighting this boss or whatever, and then my brother's like, "What's that? You're playing sexy, bro?" Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm like, and
that
I
was so funny.
completely lost the fight because of his stupid, stupid
Sexy, bro.
question. I just put down the controller and walked out. I was just so annoyed, and
Oh man. Did it
going,
help that I was just laughing my ass off? I'm
yeah,
like,
he was in
sexy
the
bro.
back just
I didn't even think of that. And then so it was just distractions on both
This
ends.
is sexy, bro.
it was so annoying, man. I'm like, I'm really happy. Like, I love my family, but I'm just happy that I don't
Oh
have the
man.
game in their presence anymore. Like, whew.
No, for me, it's always been the direct game. I've never had an issue with
Same
family
here.
interrupting me or anything. It's always been the direct physical game itself, where it's just like, who thought of this and why did they okay it? So it's yeah, my rage of game moments is hopefully it's a thing of the past,
Yeah. Good.
assuming that I continue to play Pokemon Unite as sparingly as I do. It's a thing of the past.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that it won't happen. I'm pretty sure it most likely will happen. Hopefully, I can handle it in a much well. I think I handle it in a pretty mature way, with the exception of the damn Aaron. Or if I'm playing Street Fighter, because I do kind of bang on my fight stick really hard when inputs are not coming in and I'm getting beat by bullshit. Um, but in
So for me,
regard,
it's burst. Like I still get gamer rage, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. So um, like last week I was playing Pokemon Unite and I was playing ranked, and I lost 3 matches in a row. And it was just fucking not like just people doing whatever they want to do. Just just like not playing the game properly. And so I would yell at the game like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Or and it would sound crazy to anybody else because it's this guy playing this game, and I'm going like, "Snorlax, what are you doing?" Right? And, and people, anybody who didn't know, it's like, "Why is he screaming out of Snorlax? Like, what the fuck?" And then I would also like smack the shit out of my knee or my thigh in frustration to not break anything else. I would hit myself essentially. Um, and I hurt myself really. Like I have pretty large hands, so I smacked the fuck out of my thigh, and I was like, "Ow! Why did I do that?" And so that was my wake up call of like, I shouldn't play this game
he's over
right
here
now.
using double edge on himself.
Double edge against the wall, wondering why I'm hurting. But I've got two quick ones. And then I guess we can top it off there. But so Monster Hunter was mentioned a few times. I do have a Monster Hunter one, Monster Hunter Gamer Rage moment. I have plenty, but this one is I think the maddest. There's two that I got really mad at, but one was the game, and the other was just another person that got me mad. So I'm gonna tell this. I'll tell them both. So the one that the game got me pissed off was I went back to play Monster Hunter Freedom 1 because I started on Monster Hunter 2, and I wanted to go back and play the first one just to kind of get a reference. And I do plan to go back again and play the first one on stream just to have it documented and just to run through it again. But I was doing a Plesioff quest, the hunt, and it was in the jungle. And if Plesioff is just this giant fish with dinosaur with legs, and he shoots water beams and he does like this weird hit check that has a crazy hitbox. So I'm fighting him. So it's already a stressful fight, and I'm playing him in Monster Hunter 1 rules. So the game, it's like this deck is already stacked against me, right? So I'm in the forest. I think I'm in area like 5. It's the big area with like the waterfront. He goes into the water, and I have to wait for him to come out. And so as he's in the water shooting water beams at me, I'm dodging them. A fucking Vespoid comes up behind me, and it's a giant bug, and it stings me, and my character gets paralyzed. So my character gets paralyzed, falls to the ground. Then a Velocidrome comes into the he's already in the area, but he walks up to me as I'm on the ground. He spits poison at me. So now I'm poisoned and paralyzed. And then the Plesioff in the ocean just shoots his water jet and finishes me off. And I'm just like,
Damn.
what just happened? Like, I didn't even ask myself that. I was just like confused, and then it just went red, and I just squeezed that PSP, and that thing has been through hell. I squeezed it and I threw it at my pillow. I wanted to throw it at the wall, but I was like, I'm gonna break my PSP, so I threw it at the pillow to cushion the impact. So that was my Monster Hunter Rage moment at the game. At a person, mostly, I think you all know this story. I was playing Monster Hunter 2 with a friend. He needed to hunt black Gravios. So we're doing black Gravios. And Gravios, to me, is one of the more annoying monsters to fight. He has a ton of HP. He hits hard. He likes to shoot beams that one shot you, basically. He's just a pain in the butt. I don't like fighting him, but I'll fight him if I have to. So we're fighting him, and so at this point, I'm getting better at the game. I'm doing like advanced strategies, and so when Gravios flies into the air, I like to throw a flash bomb to get him to come down to give some free hits, right? And so the other guy, my friend, who was hunting with me, saw this and was like, "Oh, I'm going to do it too," but lacks the awareness of whether or not it's a good idea. So we're fighting Black Gravios, and he flies into the air. I'm under him. The wind pressure affects my hunter, and he's like, "Oh no, wind!" And then my friend threw the flash bomb, knocked the Gravios out of the air. It landed on me, and I took immense damage. And I remember just thinking, like, what are you doing? Like, you didn't see me there? It says my name. Like, how the fuck, So, and I was super pissed because I already didn't want to do the quest. So I'm doing something I don't want to do, and then you fuck me, right? And it was very frustrating. Honorable mention is, and Esoteric he heard the commentary, is the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. The stupid Stormy Ascent mission. There's a level in the first Crash Bandicoot that was so hard that they took it out of the original game and they brought it back for the trilogy just to pay homage to the game. And so I decided I wanted to get the stupid gold relic on it. And it took me, I don't know how long, days, but I
Whatever,
remember
like it took a while.
it took days, maybe weeks. I don't know, like just trying and trying and trying. And Esoteric's room, at the time I moved my room, so our rooms were right next to each other. So the only thing between me and Esoteric was a thin wall, a thin sheetrock wall, whatever. And so he could hear me rage on the other side at this fucking level for hours. Just fuck, motherfucker. Like I'm just F bombing and just getting super hot. At a DLC level that I don't have to do, but I'm doing it anyway. So that's another honorable mention. That's why I wore the Crash shirt, because I did want to mention Crash Bandicoot as a game that has made me rage quite a bit. So
I really don't understand how we were able to play that game back in the days. Like, I don't think I've experienced. Well, I absolutely have experienced problems with it as a kid, but now it's like I don't think I could put myself through it.
Well, I did it. I got the platinum trophies, and I'm never doing it again. That's for fucking sure.
Oh
So
man, congrats on that.
I guess it's a digital trophy that nobody cares about. So it's not much to be congratulated over, but thank you.
Self gratification.
So that was Gamer Rage Moments from us. If you enjoyed our painful stories, give us a like. That'd be appreciated. And comment below. Tell us about Gamer Rage Moments that you've had. Maybe you have it worse than I do. So I don't know. Maybe you don't. And yeah, subscribe for more content. We're going to do podcasts every week on various topics like anything gaming related or like nerd culture stuff. So yeah, Esoteric streams on Twitch. Esoteric, where can they find us?
Well, aside from Twitch, you guys can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's Logical Gamers. Just look for the light bulb logo. Best one there is. And as Kong said, I also Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Also Logical Gamers.
Twitch, like
like
on those days.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm also streaming on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. So definitely tune in if you have the time and chill.
Good night, guys.
Later.
Peace.